Yeah, we tweeted. All right, today on BTF, round 2. Fight! 4 new captains. Kinda. 4 new online qualifiers. Kinda. And 4 new community favorites. Kinda. Welcome back to Beyond the Fist, the Street Fighter League livecast talk show presented by Toga TV. I am your host, togashiazrael, and this is Season 2, Episode 1, the Draft Day Special. First things first, you'll notice we are short 1 on the panel today. We here at BTF would like to thank Geki for the work that he did during Season 1 and wish him well in his future endeavors and side projects, which have now taken priority over the show. So thank you, Geki, for everything. Feel free to air your grievances. Yeah. You might remember him from such gracious outtakes as a Crouching Tiger, Hidden Girlfriend, and and other things. But we are going to miss Geki here on Beyond the Fist. So thank you very, very much to Geki. I just realized that my Discord wasn't in full screen. Yikes. Anyways. No personal information there. Think we're good. As for the rest of the panel, you guys know the usual suspects. Back from Season 1, say hi to Vancouver Street Battle. Resident Fox Specialist Mortsy, what's up, dude? You'll notice that he is looking a lot more jacked compared to Season 1. Yo, you are. You actually are. You're allowed to flex that. I haven't seen you in 4 weeks, and you're looking good. Also, despite the fact that we have one less panelist that has not changed the math on how many Americans we have on this panel. Say hi to SplicedHelix. Yeah, we'll figure it out when the last thing that Geki does for us is, of course, on the new overlay that's going to be coming next week. Spoiler alert. Anyways, all video footage, which we do not have today, by the way, but all video footage from Street Fighter League is used with permission from Capcom. Follow the Street Fighter League Season 2 and the Capcom Pro Tour live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Capcom Fighters and on YouTube at youtube.com/Capcom Fighters TV. Let's get right into it, gentlemen. No segment titles or anything like that. No videos to talk about. We're just going to have a discussion. Let's start with the changes in the format between Season 1 and Season 2. What do you like, and what do you not like? Let's start with SplicedHelix. Minus this show, right? It feels a lot like Season 1 where we have to try and get it back together again. Like Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall and we gotta figure out how to put him back together. We're gonna do our best with that one. But yeah, notable changes, of course. You guys have all of the information available to you now. StreetFighterLeague.com has literal everything that you need with regards to information about the league itself, what's happening throughout Season 2. You can go back and watch archives from Season 1. Lots of great information there. Continue with your answer there, SplicedHelix. Yeah, that's definitely, it's gonna definitely up the sort of level of competition. You won't get to see somebody basically completely locked out of the competition. Morty, talk to me about the format changes and what you think. Is this a big improvement from Season 1? That is 100% a fair point. From what we've seen, right? So far, it seemed pretty good. Yeah. And yeah. Honda. Honda. He played No, he played Falk for a while too. That's going to be really interesting. Yeah. You can just look. The player profile. Yeah, and you'll see everything. Yeah, the yeah. And I kind of like this format change specifically for me. I like that it wasn't the captain's pick two players that you could only pick one of them. I really, really like that they just said these are exhibition matches while we sort of review the skill levels of all of these players, and then the captains will do the draft like an actual thing. Like they have everyone available to them and it works.
good is that second time around. So the teams that this is really going to benefit, it's going to benefit Gale really, really nicely because uh, last season everyone banned of Shinabuki, which makes sense. But this season, even when you don't ban Shinabuki, there's neither of the other two people are strong bans because they both have a lot of character. Psycho also very, very good. Like this format fits them really nicely. Because none of them are strong banter. Smug G, you just get Balrog. Dank Diaz has an automatic play so many characters, and that's actually I think Psycho might be like do really well due to them being able to just pick whatever the hell they want.
On paper, they're probably the strongest team as far as character selection.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Definitely. We're gonna get more into that a little bit later on with the predictions, but Mortsy, go ahead, continue.
And I don't think like the change in format isn't going to benefit Inferno very much. I don't think because before it was already shaky on who you spend your ban on, and now it doesn't necessarily like it doesn't really matter at that point, because most teams did, like, this new format benefits the teams who had one clear ban, and that's going to be Team Spirit, and it's going to be Gale, I guess, and it's going to benefit Frost. Probably Storm as well, because people are going to probably ban Strider's G.
I would.
Yeah. And then we get to see Laura. So we're going to get the free Storm Laura.
Oh my goodness.
In this season, too.
Here's the thing that I think is really hilarious. If you go through the cast, there are 3 different players this time around. Sorry, 4 different players if you count Dual Kevin, which I'm not sure. I haven't seen his G lately. But
yeah,
my goodness, this is G League. That's what it seems like. Am I not wrong here? Like, G might be the clear-cut ban for a lot of these matchups.
I've been saying through an entire season of Street Fighter League, ban G, just ban him. Just
hold on. The format says you can ban. You can't ban the same character, right?
Correct.
No, I'm just talking in general.
Yeah, we're just talking in general.
Just from the
like
game.
G is gonna get hit a lot this season.
Yeah, no, I was thinking for some reason, like, oh, you could ban, it was like a per person or like a personal thing, like, oh, I ban this character because this guy plays it, and it's like, I'm gonna ban, like, for Psycho, I'm gonna ban Smug's G, and then you ban Dankadia's G.
Yeah.
Strategery.
Like, there's Dank, there's Smug, there's Dual Kevin, Knuckle Strider. So there's
I counted 4.
5.
So there's 5. I missed Knuckle because I was counting Dual Kevin, Smug, Gustavo, and
Dank.
And Dankadias, yeah. So I was like,
so
wow.
Who knows what else? How many others of them actually have a G, right? Or whether or not they're going to pull it out. The teams, yeah, it could be very funny. But yeah, I really like the format change. I think it's a good way to still keep the bans in the game, or in the format, but make them a little less influential and destructive for certain. So
I think more characters to deal with.
That's true too. The 3 new characters definitely throw in a wrinkle for what's sort of happening now. Since we're having that discussion about just targeting characters and targeting teams in general, we already know the first 2 teams that made it back. Just to recap for you guys, of course, that's Team Inferno. Congratulations, SplicedHelix, on your 2 words, Team Inferno. And much to my dismay, it's actually Team Gale because of the playoff formatting thing and the final results actually mattering from there instead of the Team Storm that I had picked previously. So Mortsy still in the running for, I guess you got it. That team is back. How do these changes, specifically the ban, because we touched on it a little bit, how do the ban changes, and there was a coaching thing as well, how does that affect each of these teams? Start anybody, go ahead.
Felix, you go first.
I don't know that the ban thing necessarily changes anything outside of a benefit. Like, I'm sure Toy, as soon as he heard that, was like, why couldn't they do that last season? Because, he would have gotten to play his game. But I don't see it. I don't see it hindering anybody. I don't see it as a negative for any of the teams, because you've got everybody has the chance to play their game. Everybody has the chance to play what they're comfortable with. And you're gonna see Punk's Karen. You're gonna see Knuckle Guile or Karen. You're gonna see JB's Rashid, which they didn't ban all the time, but you don't have to worry about it. You're gonna see Shine Zabuki. It makes it more interesting and at the same time more dangerous.
In terms of the bans now, is it more important than ever that the entire team gets the input on which character gets banned for which matchup, or is this more of the captain has to make a decision what's best for the team kind of thing?
I think both. I mean, you want input. Like, let's put me on a team, for example. I would ban Ibuki right off. It'd be like, anytime you can ban Ibuki, ban Ibuki. G, right there next. That's as far as I'm concerned what I'm comfortable playing. So I'm sure they've each got matchups they don't like. I'm sure they've each got players they don't like playing. But you have to discuss it in a team format.
So Mortsy, looking over at the site, obviously we're talking about the changes in the format. We haven't really gotten into the whole coaching thing. There is a coaching rule now that is in place for Street Fighter League. Mortsy, now that you've had a chance to look over it, what do you think?
I couldn't find it.
It's you know how they used to in between the rounds or the games, they used to be like, okay, yeah, he's doing this.
Yeah.
They can't do that anymore. It's 30 seconds before the match starts, and that's it.
Oh.
All right.
For some teams, I don't think that's going to be super huge. Actually, I guess the only teams who that it really affects are Gale and Inferno, because they just change up how it was. And with Inferno, I don't think it changes anything, because that just means Punk can't hype up his teammate. That's literally it. Or like Broly Legs can't throw out random jokes, which is actually a loss, and I'm sad. But
I mean, they can still do that. They just can't. They can't coach.
Then that's fine. Then nothing is lost for Inferno, because they don't really they weren't really coaching. I didn't really find them. There's not a lot of advice. The more teams last season, it was like Gale, Spirit, and Frost that were maybe not. Yeah, no, Frost, because Up to Stuff was very, very vocal. Those were the three teams that were really talking a lot in between matches. So them being them not being able to do that, I guess it's just Gale now. So them not being able to do that, I don't think it'll be that big a deal. Maybe I think they'll be okay. Honestly, I don't think it's that big a deal. It just means we'll have quieter in between sessions, because a lot of times they would, in between the matches, they would go to the player camp to watch as they're talking, and now that is there's no point anymore. So now I wonder what they're going to do in terms of filling that space.
I think they'll still be the slight crap talking and Broly cracking jokes, stuff like that. I think will still go on.
Yeah,
I just don't think that they're able to give them matches.
Plus, I really don't think you want to turn off the mic when Smug is talking. Just saying, the man is entertaining as hell. This man was made for TV.
Mojo too.
Yeah, Mojo as well. Huge personalities in the FGC, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of that this time around. Let's talk about the captains real quick. We got 4 new captains, kind of, as I mentioned at the top of the show. 801 Strider will be captaining Team Storm. CJ Truth captaining Team Spirit. Team Psycho being captained by Smug. And returning for Season 2, this time as a captain, Dual Kevin. Being part of the league before, does that give Dual Kevin an edge over the other 3 new captains? And which of these 4 captains could possibly challenge the returning 2 captains in NuckleDu and Punk? Go ahead, Helix.
I like 801 Strider as probably the strongest of the new captains. CJ Truth put in some work during the captain battles, but I don't know. Strider, I play Strider. I've seen him play his G. I've experienced it firsthand. The he's good. And Dual Kevin is Dual Kevin. He's good too. Nobody that is a captain is shabby at all, because they're all CPT leaderboard guys. They're all up in the top. So you could put anybody against anybody, but as far as the new guys, I think 801 Strider's the strongest.
Mortsy, what about you?
I like CJ. It's not necessarily because obviously it's easy to be like, oh yeah, these individual players can give other individual players a run for their money, but you can't compare them as individuals. You have to compare them as a team. And I think Spirit, we're gonna talk prediction later, but Spirit's pretty dope. One thing I'm just looking at the roster, I'm thinking about it, I'm just like, damn, I wish they'd change the names of the teams.
We were talking about that pre-show, actually, while you were working your microphone issues. Helix and I were just like, I really, really wish that the 4 new teams were actually 4 new team names. I think that would have been really cool.
Yeah.
Kind of lame. The only thing, Strider kind of works for Storm, because Laura, but other issue is that 2 of them have the same main, technically.
Yeah.
Strider and Smug.
Yeah.
So they would have to be something else. Could you add in Team Steel for Smug? for like boxer. That'd be dope, dude. I don't know what else you'd call it. Team leather for gloves or something.
Team leather.
That's so lame. That's why Team Steel sounds so good.
You know, you could take Gale. You know, Gale and Storm are pretty much 2 levels of the same thing. Just make one Tempest.
Yeah, but Storm is more like electric, and Gale is more the actual wind. Is why it works.
Yeah.
Anyways, the big thing with the captains is that last season it was kind of like there were 4 teams, Gale, Frost, Inferno, and Spirit, who were like, these captains are good in this format. There's no, and then Psycho and Storm are like, they're incredible players. They're just never going to get to play. And this time, that doesn't, not just due to the ban system, but every single captain is a multi-character player. We've seen dual Kevin secondaries. We know Strider's played multiple characters in the past. CJ has an incredible Colleen.
Oh my god, does he have an incredible Colleen?
Very, very good. Smug, is another player who has mained other characters in the past. So it's like, there's no weak in this format. And that's fantastic. I love that. It means that every single team is going to come to play every week. There's not going to be there's no weakness. Sick.
I think it's kind of like oh my gosh, please forgive me for invoking this. The Spider-Man movies. First Spider-Man movies in a trilogy, you always have the origin story. You always have to re-explain what's going on with Peter Parker. The second one, like the Sam Raimi set, the second Spider-Man with Doc Ock and all that was fantastic. Probably the best one of the series. But you didn't have all the growing pains of the first one. So it's the same thing with these two seasons. Everybody saw what happened with season 1, so they would know better for season 2. As far as SFL season 1, nobody knew what was going on going into it. Nobody knew the bands were going to hit that hard, and nobody knew that the people that were good that were going to play weren't going to get to play the characters that made them good. So the level of the show was lower simply because you didn't have the same level of competition that you do now.
That is 100% fair. Moving on now to the online qualifiers. What a scary quartet. Let me tell you. 2 of these online qualifiers were here last season, of course. Samurai and Idom. Surprise, surprise, they were picks 1 and 2 going into this one. And then strong players in their own rights, making names for themselves. Mojo, who, again, like Samurai, competed in the E-League Amateur Series in 2017 and has grown incredibly since then. An online and offline sensation, Dankaditas.
Second place in LCQ last year.
Yeah. Absolutely phenomenal player as well. They really found some good ones on these online qualifiers. Talk to me about some of these players. Who do you like? Not just when they're playing each other, but just in general, based on what team they're on, sort of the strengths, what they bring to the table. Helix.
Idom and CJ Truth is a scary combination. That's I wouldn't want to fight him. Mojo, I think, is strong enough to complement A1 Strider as far as that pair goes. Samurai is Samurai. I don't know that we'll see him MVP like he did last season, but I mean, he's on a team with Dual Kevin now, so who knows? And the bands are different, so who knows? And Dankadias, just the dude's library makes him scary. It's just, who is he gonna play, and who's he? You know, when he goes against somebody, he's got, is this person a pocket or a counter? Is this person a counter? Is this person a counter? Because they're all in my pocket.
Mortsy, how do you feel about these online qualifiers?
I think they're great. I think Idom is the most scary, not just due to his skill, but the fact that he has CJ as his captain, and on the back he has Arturo as well. So it's like Idom, and he's the one by far, I think, benefits from the ban system change. Samurai got to play tons due to the situation of him and Idom being on the same team. Like, the fact that Storm got as far as they did was an anomaly based on the format. The fact that they ended up on the same team and were able to do what they did is, like, premier captaining by Idom. What a draft. That was, damn. But I definitely think that Idom's going to flourish super, super, super well. And it kind of helps with Samurai as well, because even though he doesn't, like, he'll probably be the primary ban target this time around. Unless another team has an issue with Rashid, he'll most likely be the ban target. Yeah, I don't know if any of the teams have I haven't really looked into it that hard. Whether one of the teams is going to be like, I can't play against Rashid. Maybe Psycho, because a lot of them are more. Like, it's none of Dank's characters are particularly anti-Rashid. Although he is probably the sim with the most Rashid experience. And then actually Arturo has fantastic Rashid experience too. It's actually really interesting because both of them have played against JB. And we saw Dank Diaz pick apart John Takeuchi in the LCQ. That was like the most one-sided Dolls of Rashid on the sim side I've ever seen. So yeah, Samurai's going to get to play his character half the time. Idom's going to get to play him half the time. Like, that is going to be horrific. So I'm really excited to see how they do, and I'm really excited to see Mojo. Because I personally haven't seen much of it. So I'm hyped to be able to see, and he seems like a really, not even just like personality, or I guess not just play wise, but personality wise, he seems really cool. So it's like this. I'm excited to see Mojo in the same way that I'm excited to see. I was excited for Toy last season. Was because they just seem. It was fun to get to see more of the player themselves. Same with
Smug's gonna be fun.
Storm is like the personality team, dude. I love all three of them are great. That's gonna be so much fun. You gotta love Tommy. Everyone else is trying to look cool in these photos, and Tommy's just fucking beaming, bro. I think it's so funny.
Did you guys all get a chance? We're gonna be talking about
like, what's up? Yeah. So he's like,
everyone else in the Tommy's like, yeah, I'm here.
We are gonna talk about the fan vote in a second. We're gonna talk about the fan vote in a second.
Still can't hear you.
Can't hear me? What in the world? Hello?
What did you do? There you go.
What in the world? Okay, so we're gonna talk about the fan vote in a second. Stream heard me 3 times, which is hilarious. Anyways, we're gonna talk about the fan vote in a second. But before we actually get into that, how many of the videos did you guys see for the pledging of the vote?
I didn't watch all the charities, but I watched Tommy's.
Tommy's was money, so good. I don't know if they're still up on Smash.gg. If you guys get a chance, do watch those audition videos. My goodness, there was some creativity like you would not believe from some of these people.
Find them in their Twitter too.
Yeah, I think
theirs was like political type advertisements. Like, it's like, I'm Hillary Clinton, vote for me for president.
They were all really, really good. I'm very glad that people put in the effort, and of course more information was available this time around, which was great. One of the minor rule changes, I don't know if anybody pointed it out. So if you are like me, a Canadian, born in the United States, you are considered an American citizen, an American person, you can actually apply for Street Fighter League. Nobody pointed that part out. That's there. So shout outs to any of my my dual citizen friends out there. Season 3, when that comes out, put your name in the ring, and get that done. Let's talk now about the fan vote, the community, the online,
the shit show,
the debacle.
You cannot have a great event without a little bit of controversy. Controversy helps.
That's a lot of bit of controversy.
Multiple controversy. There wasn't just one. There was 2.
So we are going to address that very, very briefly, of course.
3, technically.
Yeah. So let's start with obviously the biggest elephant in the room: the player code of conduct violations on the part of Guilty after Evo and after an investigation, despite being the top vote getter for Street Fighter League. Guilty, of course, banned from all Capcom Pro Tour and Street Fighter League related events indefinitely.
3 days before Street Fighter League was filming.
Yeah, that. So
That's important.
that is very important. Coming up afterwards. So that means we only had 3 online qualifiers. That was Sherry. It was Tommy,
Automatic and Tommy.
and Automatic. So they had to fill the 4th one. Here's where the other controversy comes in. The 5th place vote getter, not invited to the show. According to Twitter reports, we're treating this like a news thing now, which is hilarious. According to Twitter reports, first-hand account from the player himself, was not contacted by Capcom at all with regards to the vote and what happened after they had announced that Guilty was banned. They immediately went to Arturo, who finished 6th. I believe he did finish 6th, right? He did finish 6th in voting?
Yeah, he was the next.
Finished 6th after it closed an hour early.
Yeah.
And that was, of course, the other controversy, of course, was the voting did close an hour early. So now that we have all of those pieces lined up, there are your online qualifiers. We have added Arturo to that list of 3 that I had mentioned earlier. The other big controversy, and I know those people probably aren't watching this show right now, was the call on Twitter to boycott the Street Fighter League and not support it because of what happened with Zykes. How do you guys feel about that, Mortsy?
So obviously they're not just gonna not run it, right? That would be silly. I get a lot of enjoyment out of it, and it doesn't affect me. And this is a very bad way of looking at it. I feel bad for looking at it like this. But I am critical. I am very critical of their decision. From what I heard, and why I emphasize the fact that it happened like 3 days before, is that when there's a whole bunch of stuff involved, paperwork involved, sorting this stuff out, right? This is why all the voting takes place and finishes like 3 weeks before, so that everyone can get their paperwork in order, in with Capcom, so that they have everything sorted out legally.
Light schedule and all that good stuff.
Yeah. But because that it happened 3 days, or 3 or 2 days before filming, they weren't able to, they had to get the papers from Amizi and get everything done in the short amount of time that they had. But alternatively, they could go with Art, who already has everything in with them, because he's previously worked with Capcom. This is just what I've heard. So instead, and what this does, I don't like it. I don't like it because it was the easy way out, and it fucks with the integrity of the vote. The fact that he was 4th is now irrelevant. That Amizi was 4th, or Zykes was 4th, it's completely irrelevant, which means that he might as well, like, it doesn't matter how the vote went outside of the top 4.
So then at that point,
it's irrelevant because they disregarded it. And that fucks with it really, really messes with the integrity of the vote. And I would be apprehensive, because what if that was anyone else other than a non-content creator? Like, I think part of the reason why people are kind of like, this is okay, is because of the kind of, they don't know him as a player. Like, if Arturo was, or if someone else was 4th, and this had happened, and they hadn't been contacted, who was 7th? Does anyone know? I want to check.
I have no idea. You can go ahead and check. Helix, chime in on this discussion while Mortsy does that.
I agree with what Mortsy's saying. It's the dichotomy of being a business and having and pleasing the fans. It's you can have both sometimes, but there are situations that'll pop up where you can't. And if that's the case, that he's got all the paperwork already done, and they can get around the legal part of it. Honestly, I think they still should have given Zykes a chance. I think he should have been given the opportunity. Like, hi, if you don't have this paperwork to us within 24 hours, we're going with somebody else. But just to not say anything, to not contact him at all, it's not a good look. It's not good business practice. And maybe it saves them money, but it also puts a damper. It puts a stigma on the actual event itself. And I don't think that the boycott thing is going to affect them one way or the other, because they're still going to get their views. The boycott Street Fighter League thing, sure, it picked up some steam, but how long was it before that entire discussion left the sphere of FGC Twitter? It took, what, 3 days, 2 days, till nobody was talking about it anymore? And then it started. I haven't heard anything about it since. In the week since we've had the first episode, I haven't heard a thing about it.
Yeah, no, I guess we'll have to see if sort of more arguments happen as we move forward, especially tomorrow leading up to the actual event itself. Mortsy, you had a good look on your face when you saw who was seventh. Who was seventh? And would that have made a difference?
It was Marine.
So it was friend of the show Marine.
Instead of Zykes, it was Marine that was fifth. And she got passed over.
Wow.
Someone who people know is a very strong player, taking down Dogura. She's taken tons of other names. Beloved streamer. And if she had been passed over for Arturo instead. Now, I also wonder whether or not, if it had been her, like whether or not, because I feel like they could get a free pass almost. I still feel bad saying this. They could get a free pass because Amizi isn't he's still a player, but he's not like a personality. He kind of is, but you kind of get what I'm saying. Like he's not.
He's not an FGC name.
Yeah, in terms of market value, currently in the FGC, Mezzi is not one of those names that is really well known outside of his own scene.
Like, I had no idea who the dude was.
Yeah, if they had skipped over Marine, I actually imagine people just being like, "What the fuck happened?" and actually holding to the boycott, because people would have raised hell about it. But because Amizi isn't a known FGC, or like a highly known FGC personality, and not in like a tournament player or a consistent tournament player, I think that people are willing to give a pass because they don't want to mess with so this is messing with the vote integrity, but they didn't want to mess with the integrity of the competition. In this,
that's fair.
So it's like, it's stupid. It's ridiculous. I think it was a terrible decision, and even if it messed with the integrity of the skill level, it shouldn't have mattered, because there was nothing outlining this situation. There will be next season. Probably, guaranteed, yeah. They're gonna have this. They're gonna have this shit sorted out.
There are definitely gonna be a few safeguards put in place for sort of what has happened, for sure. Hopefully, it doesn't affect what's happening within the competition, because Art, as a player, in terms of skill, obviously deserves to be there. Art has paid his dues and done exactly what he needs to do, and he deserves to show his skill on this kind of platform. So we will have to see whether or not the boycott for Street Fighter League actually does affect the views if people actually go through with it. Mortsy.
The last thing I want to say is that it's not the people at SFL's fault. It can't, the Smash GG thing was not their fault. That was Smash GG itself.
Correct.
That goofed. And with this, they had 3 days to make a decision about after the guilty ban. That is not a lot of time to get everything in order. And so I understand why they came to the decision that they did. It sucks. The fact that they had to be put in that position at all is awful, and it sucks. But
I think with all the website changes that they've had, and the way they stepped their game up with the promotions of it and stuff like that, and the website design, I think they'll have the voting on their own site next.
That would
That
be
was
really
season.
cool.
Yeah, no, that would be something that would definitely work out in favor for Capcom and for the Street Fighter League. With regards to the integrity of, or in the spirit of competition, nothing is going to change. These guys are still going to compete as hard as they can. You're still going to see some top-notch Street Fighter. If you're going to boycott it, obviously you wouldn't be watching this show, but if you are going to boycott it for your own personal reasons, more power to you, whatever it is. But I really think you are going to be missing out on some amazing Street Fighter action. And that's not a Capcom company line I'm throwing at you. That's Toga TV. That's togashiazrael. That is me telling you to watch some goddamn good Street Fighter. Because there's a lot of damn good Street Fighter that is going to be coming your way starting tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific. Draft discussion time, boys. Let's talk about it. Of course, the two teams from last season remained intact. None of their players in jeopardy to be put on other teams or whatever the case may be. Those teams are exactly the same. Let's talk about the draft itself, how they set up the format and how it worked out. They had a mini tournament between the captains, and CJ Truth ended up winning that one and got the first pick. And with his first pick, he picked IDOM, correct? I think?
Yeah.
He picked IDOM? Yeah.
IDOM was definitely first round draft pick.
All right, I'm gonna very quickly make sure that I have the picks in order here. Okay, so it was CJ Truth, and then it was Dual Kevin, and then it was Strider, and then it was Smug. One of the funnier parts of the whole thing, the whole draft thing, of course. CJ Truth. People talk about how he was a sports guy. I'm inclined to believe it less with the way he felt about the words snake draft. He said it didn't make sense to him. That was really funny. If you guys get a chance to watch, of course, it's all on the website, StreetFighterLeague.com. You can watch previous episodes of Street Fighter League, including the Draft Day special. Let's talk about the captain's decisions and how it ended up. So Team Spirit, CJ Truth, IDOM, and Art. Team Frost, Dual Kevin, Samurai, and Sherry. Team Storm, 801 Strider, Mojo, and Tommy Two Step. And Team Psycho, Smug, Dankadias, and Automatic. Of these four teams, which of them can challenge the top two in Inferno or Gale? Mortsy.
I'm just sitting in awe of the fact that Arturo was the third online guy pick. Or no, was he the last one?
He was last.
The last pick.
He was the relegation to Team Spirit.
He was the Rob TV of this season.
Okay, I understand Dual Kevin picking Sherry. That makes sense. I don't get anyone picking Art last. I don't get that at all. I genuinely am surprised here. I get picking Automatic because he's flexible. Very, very, very flexible. But Arturo, especially when you, as a captain, can be like, I'm going to get banned for half the season. I think pretty much all the captains can be like, I'm not going to be able to play my character for the entire season. Or for half the season. Guaranteed. So if you can do that and be like, I can guarantee Arturo is playing Dalzin. This is a guy who regularly takes NLBC against IDOM. And against the other incredible talent that is at NLBC. I don't get how you drop him. Spirit is the best. I think Spirit's the best. The only team I can think I can give him a run for. Actually, let me change how I'm formatting this. The only Gale and Spirit are the best teams. Punk is the best player. So, overall, and in this format, it doesn't necessarily matter if you have the strongest team if there's one player who can kick the entire shit out of your
We're gonna see if the Punk problem still exists.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Spirit is going to be insane. I think Psycho is going to surprise people not because of Smug, but because of Dank and Automatic. I think they're going to end up surprising some people. I think they're going to do well. What I really like, showing the website again, is that they have, if you click on a player from season 1, it's got the entire, it has the entire match history and all the wins, every character they played. It's really interesting, and a win percentage. which is really cool. And so it has why is it not?
They stepped their game up.
It's actually really incredible. And what's even cooler is I just realized this, but they have a character stat sheet as well as all the people who played the character. This website kicks ass. But I think Psycho is going to surprise people. But yeah, Spirit's insane, dude. Spirit's wild.
You would think that they listened to us last season or something.
I mean, they did have full access to the library. They had full access to the library of Beyond the Fist Season 1, so we're only allowed to do this because they let us do this. So
yeah, I don't know how Storm's feeling like the weakest team too. Which, in this case, I think Storm would still be better than the teams probably both Spirit and Psycho from last. They're still everyone is a good team. So that's actually one of the things I'm really excited to see how this unfolds because all of the teams are strong. And I feel like we're going to get some really, really good matches out of this format, especially with the new band system. But yeah, Spirit is so good, dude. Holy shit, is that team ever good. Also, I don't want to hear host Toga. I want to hear prediction Toga. I want to hear yours too this time around.
Okay, all right.
I think especially if there's only going to be 3 of us, I think think we should hear your thoughts.
All right.
100%.
All right. So, me personally, from a personal standpoint, in terms of to be the man, you got to beat the man, and that's still how I feel right now. Inferno is definitely gonna have a harder time defending their title with just the strength of players and the depth of each of these teams. I agree with you, Mortsy, that I think Storm is actually the weakest team in terms, and I think that's just based on strict character depth and in general. They don't really have much. 801 Strider's G and Laura are 2 very different characters. So if you target G for half the season, Storm is not going to look too hot, my opinion. The best part about this is I think the team that challenges them the most, challenges Inferno or Gale, is actually Psycho. Because they can counterpick everything. Literal everything. They can find good matchups. The lab just the sheer amount of knowledge between Danka Diaz and Automatic and the amount of labbing that they've done with all the characters they have at their disposal. The infographic for Automatic didn't even have all the characters that he played. You guys do not understand how many characters this man knows inside and out. It will come down to execution on the part of Automatic, and I don't think he is afraid of the competition. I think he is going to relish this opportunity and just absolutely put on a show for everybody. So I think Psycho, if there's any team that can challenge Inferno or Gale right now, I'm staring at Psycho. That is my prediction.
They should have just put a Street Fighter V symbol where his characters go.
I know. I mean, why did they bother with the infographic of start with Sagat and see where everything else goes? I'm just just put question mark, the random select question mark box. That would have been fine.
Now, I agree with Psycho being the most flexible, but I'm not sure whether they have the kind of hard counter you would need for Karen. I don't know, because Smug has G Balrog, and the issue is I also don't know a lot of Karen's matchups, so I don't know if any of these characters give her a really, really hard time. Dank also has G Blanca. I don't know. He's been learning Rashid, but I don't know if he had it for this point. Mm-hmm. G, Sim, Blanca, Urian. So he has at least those 4.
Okay.
He could have more.
My argument for beating Punk's Karen, and it's specifically Punk's Karen, is that Punk and Smug have played so many games against each other. So many games. That Smug is probably the only captain out of the other 5 that knows Punk's Karen as inside out as he can with both of his characters. That is my reasoning for Psycho being, or having the ability to challenge Inferno. Because if you can challenge Punk, that is a big, big feather in your cap when it comes to trying to beat Inferno. You have to be able to challenge Punk.
I think that's fair. Helix?
I mean, I've got to stick with my. I have to, but if I'm going to pick somebody to challenge them, I'd have to go with Spirit, just because you got unleashed Idom. You know, it's a scary thing, and CJ Truth is really good. He's really good on two different characters. I think Gale's kind of being overlooked for the rest, all the new faces. But you got to think they're benefiting from it too. They're also, you've also got modified ban rules, so they've got their full strength at any given time. I think Psycho is really good. I do think they have counters for everybody, but it's the level of play that might not be there to use the counters. Frost, I think Samurai. I don't think he's going to have as good of a season as he did last season. I don't know many sports MVPs that go back-to-back MVP seasons, but yeah, I think the top three will be Gale, Inferno, and Spirit.
All right, let's break down the teams a little bit further. In terms of bans for each of these teams, put yourself as the opponent for each team. Which character are you most likely to ban for each? Mortsy.
Oh God, man, you're gonna throw me down this rabbit hole. Obviously, it's very team dependent. Like I said before, because everyone kind of banned, like, you ban. As I went in depth with the Gale Inferno matchup last season, where it was like, okay, if you ban this, they ban this. Like, obviously Inferno bans Ibuki, but then Gale's like, all right, well, we have two Guile players, and you can't play Karen, so have fun playing Colleen in her worst matchup. I don't know if that's the case anymore, but still.
No, I don't find it to be the case.
Yeah, Trigger 2. It's still really bad. Like, V-Trigger 2 only lasts so long.
That's true. Patience.
Then it goes back to 7-3. So Frost, you ban Akuma, and then you ban Rashid. I don't see people banning out Nikali. I think Sherry's going to be pretty safe to play it throughout the whole season. Gale, they'll probably ban Ibuki, and then, honestly, I could see them banning either Cammy or G. I don't think you ban Rob. I think you focus on Knuckle Dude, but you try to ban whatever character works best against your team. If you can't ban Ibuki. Because I think banning Ibuki is a pretty good blanket strategy against Shine. I'm actually excited to see Shine's Ibuki, even though last season I don't think he won with it.
No,
he had one chance and he lost. So
he got washed.
Yeah.
Inferno, again, it's going to be team dependent. So if your team deals better with one of Punk's many secondaries, then you ban Karen. But if you deal worse against Rashid, you ban JB. Because banning, if you think you can take Punk, you ban Rashid, because then it's basically Team Punk. And if you get smashed by Broly, then that was on you. Psycho, you're banning G because it covers two. Yeah, I know. You're banning G because it covers both Smug and Digadias. So it forces both of them on one. He goes to Balrog, I'm assuming. Which is still terrifying because he still pulls that character out. I think it's the Ibuki matchup. He really likes it because he's pulled it out against Fujimura and smoked him, destroyed him. I don't remember what tournament that was at, but yeah. And then otherwise, you ban a character that you have a hard time. Technically, you could ban Balrog. But I don't see that happening. So you ban whatever character of Danks that does really well against you. I don't think you throw a ban at Sagat. I don't think automatic. He's still going to be able to bring a strong other character, but I don't think it's going to be worth banning.
Before we continue, I have to ask, just because we talked about the infographic with automatic before, over or under 4.5 characters for automatic in this season?
Over. Easy. Hella over.
Hella over.
I don't see that being under. Who would take that bet?
I mean, if
So-
they avoid
I
banning
think he
him,
plays 5. I think he plays a total of 5 characters. Most likely.
And see, we're all opting on the beginning of season 4 with their characters. Oh, we don't know who they're labbing of the 3 new ones. So,
although we kind of know what automatic is.
well, automatic labs everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he's got at least I think the big ones are Sagat, Honda, Zeku. Honda due to recency, Zeku because that was the original.
That was
the
the first
automatic.
automatic video, for Street Fighter V was Zeku. So
Sagat is and then obviously Sagat is like the nat.
Yeah. All right, continue, Mortsy, with the rest of that previous question about the bans. Who do you ban from Spirit?
You're gonna focus item. You ban Laura the first time you play them. I don't think there's any team that's particularly susceptible to Cammy off the bat, but banning Cammy is shitty because you still have to play IDOM, and he still has Colleen. Like, honestly, I could see people banning Dolls.
Like the second time around?
Just the second time around, because you're dealing with CJ Truth. You're like, I just have to deal with one of the lesser two, like one of the evil. Like, we're gonna have to play he's a character he's comfortable with anyway.
All right.
So you just ban Arturo, so you don't have to deal with it, and then Storm, you're banning G Mika. I don't think you ban Urian or Chun. I think, again, because I just don't think there's any teams that go like, holy shit, Chun-Li.
All right. That is fair.
And then I don't think Mojo's secondaries are like worth considering when you ban it.
So fuck Poison, no?
No, I think you still just ban. You still ban the Mika instead.
Okay.
So he's basically this season's Tay.
Yes, but I think his secondaries are fine. Except he's gonna actually get banned because last time Tay didn't get any ban, or Tay didn't get banned at all. I think he might. No, he actually did get banned once.
Yeah, then he used G, and then.
And he used G, and it didn't go. No, he almost won.
He almost won. Yeah, we talked about him potentially throwing it away against Nephew, but yeah, he almost won.
So almost counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Oh, we gave him a hard time for that at Northwest Majors too. Afterwards, when we talked to him, we were letting him have it. All right, SplicedHelix, same question. Put yourself in an opposing team's shoes. Who do you ban from each of the teams if you are playing them?
It's basically a mirror answer. I mean, everything that he said, I agree with. Psycho, you get the Psycho. It's a crapshoot if you're not targeting G, because you pick G and you're blanketing the highest percentage, and that at that point with that many characters, it's not really a safe bet, but it's a safer bet. Spirit, you know, as far as the ban order goes, the priority it would be Idom, CJ, and then Arturo. It's literally everything Mortsy said. I agree with.
All right, for the second go around, then, when you're doing the bans, do you take the team's record into account when you're doing it?
If you're, I mean, it depends on where you're at in the season. If you can feasibly knock somebody out of contention, or if the bans won't matter, you know, if you're sitting in 4th place and Inferno's so far ahead in 1st place that it doesn't matter if they lose 1 or 2 games by the end of the season, then there's no point, you know. But if it makes a difference, then absolutely, you absolutely take the record into account.
All right, Mortsy, what's up?
Go.
What I think is actually really interesting with the season now is that we're basically playing within this season. There's 2 seasons. You play season 1 where everyone banned, and then season 2, you're technically playing against completely different teams.
Yeah, dude. You have to move your ban. You're required to move your ban.
So what the record reflects in the first season isn't necessarily the strength of the team. So I don't think you can ban based on record due to the team, like Team Spirit with Laura banned is a completely different team than Team Spirit with Hammy banned. is a completely different dynamic that you have to play around due to advantageous matchups and player strength. So it's, even though that's the same players, it's like a completely different matchup spread. I was going to make a Pokemon analogy, but I'm going to leave.
All right, and of course, let's now that we've broken down the teams, we've talked about bands a little bit. Prediction time, boys. Preseason, because this entire thing starts tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific. Who is winning Season 2 of Street Fighter League Pro Tour US to take on the champion of Pro Tour Japan at Capcom Cup? I love that, by the way. I freaking love that.
It's really cool.
Even though the formats are completely different, I think the Japanese teams just are going to be outright stronger because of the way it works. But, because their amateur player is...
It depends who wins.
That's true. It does depend on
amateur.
Their amateur player. Okay, anyways. Who wins? Frost, Gale, Inferno, Psycho Spirit, or Storm? Whoever wants the hot seat first can take it between the two of you. Go.
Before we get into that, I'm pretty sure the SFL is doing it differently this year in Japan because they did open qualifiers. They did 3v3 open qualifiers, when I'm pretty sure that like the qualifiers are the team. Like the teams that they want to be on when they play. Because like it was Machibo Johnny and Fujimura was a team.
That's freaking gross.
Smoked.
Yeah.
They got smoked.
That's not fair.
It was no, they lost. They didn't win the qualifier. It was, you know who, and you know what? You know why I'm bringing this up and why this is so important? Because they got OCV'd by a Fang player.
You would. Take the freaking poison. All right.
Yeah.
Who wants to be on the hot seat? Go.
I'm sorry, Gale. I'm on the Spirit train, buddy. This is going to be a sick season, dude. I am so excited to watch Idom play Laura. It's going to be so great. And then CJ is so good. And then everyone is going to be like, it's fine. We just have Arturo left. And then he's going to OCV team. It's going to be, they have every single one of their players very, very strong. You're going to ban Laura, and then you're going to have to ban, like, the first half of the season. They could lose 7 games, or 7 sets, or whatever they are, in the first season, or the first half, and then they're going to win the second 7. Like, and even then, the first half, like, Truth or Saban could just pop off, and it won't matter that Idom is banned. Like, and it's the same thing that happened with Storm last season.
You think Idam's going to pull a samurai?
I think he definitely... No, it's not even that. I think there's 2 samurais. I think that Spirit has 2 samurais on their team. That's what the team is now. It's not like, Classico is trying. He's trying his best, and that's great. But now you have to deal with 2 players of Samurai's caliber as opposed to 1 when you're playing against Spirit, this new team Idom. So I'm on the Spirit train. I think Inferno. You know what? I don't even think Inferno's second.
Wow.
I think Gale will get second. That's my
okay.
And obviously, this greatly depends on, because it's the top 4 making it into the finals, right?
This time we know the format for sure.
Depends. Yeah, so it greatly depends on the matchups that coming into the final thing. Because even though I think Storm got second technically last season, right? During the season, but they ended up coming in third because they lost to Gale.
The playoff,
yeah,
so
exactly.
The playoff actually matters. The top 4 actually matters. That has been communicated now that we know for sure.
So are we making predictions for the playoffs, or are we making predictions for
That's what
season?
I wanted to say. No, I want you to pick an overall winner. The team.
So the winners of the playoffs.
Yeah, the winners of the playoff. The team. The team that is going to represent North America in the NA versus Japan Street Fighter League finals.
So I think Team Spirit wins the season and the finals, but it'll be really interesting to see how the playoffs go, because because first place 4th, right?
Yeah.
In the
first
thing,
place
and then
4th,
second place
3rd. Yep.
Yeah. So it'll be really, really interesting to see how that finds out. But I genuinely think that Gale has a chance of taking Inferno down this season. So I'm still on the Gale over Inferno train, but I'm on Spirit. I'm on the Spirit winning everything.
All right, SplicedHelix, you're up.
I'm not switching from Inferno. I'm not saying I'm picking another team. I'm not saying that Spirit would beat Inferno. But if I had to pick a team other than Inferno, I would pick Spirit. But I don't. So I'm going to stay with Inferno. But I'm going to keep a close eye on Spirit. And
Are we
I think
teams this time?
we allowed to what?
Ban switching teams.
Yeah, no,
Who switched teams?
Geki did. So
Geki
he's not here.
Who is that? I don't know who that is.
He's not here anymore. So this is where we are now. This is it. This is it right now. Your pick. Oh my god, he's done. I thought we were done with that. Anyways, my turn. Last time when we did this, I told you I had a head pick and a heart pick. Once again, I'm going to have a head pick and a heart pick. I agree with both of you. I'm going to be on Mortsy's train once again. I think Team Spirit. From my head, Team Spirit wins this thing. Just everything that Mortsy said, 100% correct. You have 2 samurais on this team. You have 2 samurai caliber MVP type seasons on this team. And you're going to be overlooking the guy who is always top 2 at LBC. You're just going to overlook him, and then he's going to beat you, which is going to be scary.
The top 2 for NLBC is on this team.
Yeah. You are playing against CJ X NLBC. That is the team. Yeah. Have fun. Tournament experience. IDOM on a tear right now. Riding the momentum. He was the only North American player, top 8 EVO this year?
Yeah.
Yep. Lots to do there.
I mean, are they only top 2 at NLBC now because JB moved to the West Coast?
No, I think kind of.
Even then.
But
well, for the record though, Lex went from NLBC to getting like 4th kind of ish area at NLBC, and now he's won like 3 Wednesday night fights.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
I don't know. All right. My heart pick. The heart pick. What I want, just for sheer entertainment value, the amount of hard work.
I already know where you're going for this.
And sheer entertainment
You're going with Storm, aren't you?
No. I'm going with Psycho.
Yeah.
I absolutely love everybody on this team.
Bro.
3 content creators, 3 highly skilled individuals, and I want somebody on one of the other teams to say, you know what, we're going to hit random select, and that's the character that we ban. When we're playing against Team Psycho, because I think that is going to be fantastic. Of course, Decky D is a good friend of mine. His first Street Fighter game is Street Fighter 5, and we've seen him grow, and he chose to pick Dhalsim first, and now you're seeing what he can do with G, with Blanca, with Urian. Like, there's so many different tools, and then you get to pick the brain of another lab monster next to you, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I cannot wait for this.
This man has spreadsheets on frame data for Oki.
Yeah.
It's wild, dude.
I want to see, just once, I want to see automatic pick random select.
He would do it too. He would absolutely
I want to see that during the season. I want to see him go to the random select thing and raise his hand and then hit.
It'll be once the rosters, once all the standings are final at the end, like the last season where it doesn't really matter anymore.
No, I want to see it where it matters. I want to see week 4. I want to see him hit the button on random select.
All right, so we have it on record. All of us have our eyes on Team Spirit. Mortsy and I have Team Spirit winning the thing. SplicedHelix still sticking with Team Inferno. We are locking.
And I don't think Team Inferno makes top 2.
Okay.
Very important.
We are locking these in for our pre-season predictions. One last thing that I didn't even write down. I only thought about it now while we were doing the predictions. Which player versus player matchup do you want to see the most this season? Give yourselves time to look at all of the players and all of the matchups and tell me who you would like to see.
Easy.
Okay, go ahead, Mortsy, if you have it all.
I want to see Idom Samurai.
Absolutely.
I want to see both. I want to see them play. Obviously, I want to see them play Laura, and because I think that will be a really neat match. The issue is, actually, no. The first time they play, and it actually has a chance of happening, because the first week that they play, I'm assuming both teams will ban Idom and Samurai's characters, which means that the second time that they play, they'll have free reign, and it'll be an OCV fest, or an OCDV attempt, ideally. So that's the matchup that I want to see really, really badly. That, or maybe like Punk Smug, because I think there'll be a lot of trash talk.
SplicedHelix, which character matchup or player matchup?
100% Idom Samurai, just because they were on the same team last year, so they didn't have to worry about each other. That'll be fantastic to see.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I don't know. I kind of want to see 801 Strider and Knuckle go at it, but like, I want to see how he does. I want to see him play Guile against G. That's what I.
Interesting, because he tried. I think it was Northwest Majors, wasn't it? That it was Knuckle Strider Grand Finals.
Was it?
I think so. Yeah, actually.
Because Knuckle was fucking lost.
Yeah.
When they played, I'm gonna double check it just to be sure. I'll be very quick.
All right. The matchup.
That or a snooze fest. You go with Dank versus Arturo in the Dawson mirror.
Yeah, but they're not gonna play. It'll be Dank versus G.
Hey, it's what you want to see, right?
That's true. Player matchup, not character.
Oh yeah. All right. So for me, you guys hit the two nails on the head for the most part. Samurai versus Idom is going to be absolutely incredible. It
was Dew Strider, by the way.
Yeah.
Dew played Mika.
That's right, he did, and he got washed. He did get washed. From the new player standpoint, one of the matchups that probably intrigues me the most, just because you don't see it a lot, basically any matchup with Sherry, I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on, because I think Nakali is completely underrated, and Sherry already showed one godlike reaction in an exhibition match. She just showed one godlike reaction, godlike critical art that had everybody jumping up and down in their seats.
I think her reactions are easily, I think, the strongest part of her game.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
And naughty reactions. She's
absolutely looking forward to breaking that one down. Any matchup with Dankadias has a great interest, personal interest to me, obviously. CJ, the one matchup, the player matchup that I actually want to see the most is actually CJ Knuckledew. Because they're from the same area, they have history, and they are two young blazing guns that are just going to go straight into the offense and go to work, and I think it's absolutely going to be great. So
Knuckledew's ancient.
In the FGC he is, but
in
terms of age, he's not. So I'm looking forward to that. I
want to see somebody bust out a Lucia too.
That's the other question I was going to ask you guys: is who busts out the new character first? Which team?
Oh, we've already seen Honda.
Mm-hmm.
I think depending on what the schedule is, I'm actually going to look at it because okay, so the schedule is Inferno Gale. I don't think anyone's going to bust at anything new there. I could see Punk maybe messing around. Psycho Spirit. So we're going to see either, depending on the order of play.
Oh man,
it's Psycho versus Spirit.
We didn't even talk about player orders and how this is going to affect anything, but
basically, if Idom is up first, because Idom will be banned first.
Mm-hmm.
So Psycho bans Idom's Laura, and Idom plays Poison, and that will be the first one we see. And then Psycho is, or we see Honda, because Automatic just happens to be up before them. But all other four teams play before them. So we might see. I don't see, no one else is maining these characters, but I don't know whether there's any secondary. What I don't. So outside of that, I think we see Idam's Laura for 5 games this season.
Okay. Which character? Okay,
Or 7 or whatever.
Last
6.
thing then, since we just brought that up, which character gets banned the most this season?
I don't know.
G.
Oh, actually, yeah, it would have to.
Just out of number of people that play him, just G.
Yeah. Well, there's 2 teams that you ban G against 5 times.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Psycho and Storm. We'll lose G 5 times, probably.
Or in a crazy twist of fate, we see Dalsum banned 5 times against Spirit and Psycho.
No, that would that would be kind of fun.
So outside of that, though, I don't see because there's only the only Guile player is on Gale. Has Punk played Guile?
He probably could, but he probably doesn't.
Not seriously, he doesn't.
Yeah. There's 2 Guile players because like G is there's 5 people who play G. Automatic probably plays it too.
He does.
It's a pretty safe bet.
No, I mean it wasn't listed in that smorgasbord of characters, but he has lapped every new character since Sagat G. So,
and so like honestly, we see G is going to be easily the most banned character. He doesn't have G. Does not have. There's no other character that has the same representation. G. There's 5 Gs, and that's the closest we get. Everything else is like
Karen would be
It's
the
a
next
numbers
closest
thing.
maybe.
Sorry?
Karen would be the next closest thing, maybe. Who has a?
That's just Punk and Punk. Rob TV. Punk Rob TV, right?
Smug has one of the.
Who else plays?
Too, but he's not. He's only gonna play Balrog.
Oh God, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
I see Pauline potentially. Because Mojo brought her out as a secondary instead of Falk, which I thought was a really good idea. Be like, hey, if I get banned, it's not Falk, I promise.
Yeah.
Like I cry out to the captains, please. I'm not gonna play Falk. I'm sorry.
All right.
I mean, after G, you've got a lot of just doubles. You got a lot of 2 people play this character, like Rashid. You got there's 2 Sagat players. There's 2 Chun-Li players.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the other? I guess Samurai, right?
Yeah.
For Sagat. Oh, there's 3 Colleen because Punk,
Colleen.
CJ, and Mojo. They're all secondaries.
Okay, well there you go. Yeah, so Colleen would be 3. Everybody else is 2. You got 2 Dawson.
Who would have thought we'd have 2 Dalsums? Jesus.
All right, last thing, because I remember asking this now in our previous draft special for season 1. Which player is going to break out and have the best record individually this season, and which player is going to be down in the dumps this season? Think about it for a second. Most wins, most losses.
Punk has the most wins. He's the strongest individual player on the team or in the league.
I agree with that, and it's my team.
I think it's between. You know what? I think Sherry. It's either gonna be Sherry, Broly Legs,
or Tommy.
Yeah, I'm debating on Tommy. I think he does better than the other 2. I think his character. Yeah, I think he does better than the other 2, but I'm not sure.
Those are the 3 I was looking at too.
There's no like clear worst player, and even the players that are weaker are not the worst. They're still better than the players last year.
No, that's 100% fair.
I don't like it. Sherry's just there smiling at me, and I'm like, you're. And you know what? I can't even say that because I still haven't gotten a run back. Technically, it's 2-0 for her or 2-1 for her.
I was gonna ask, out of all of us, because have you played Sherry online, Spliced, at all?
I have.
What's your record?
I played her online too, but I haven't gotten an offline run back since.
Okay. So in terms of total records against Sherry, between the 3 of us, I don't think any of us have a winning record.
You might. I might. Online, I have a winning record. Offline, I do not.
Okay.
I only have online, and it's 2-2.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm 1-3 against Sherry. So, all right. I think that's it for our prediction show. We've locked in everything. Any video footage from Street Fighter League is used with permission from Capcom. Keep up with the Street Fighter League Season 2 and the Capcom Pro Tour on Twitch at twitch.tv/CapcomFighters and on YouTube, youtube.com/CapcomFightersTV. This has been your premiere episode for Season 2 of Beyond the Fist. We're going to clean up the mic work and the layout and everything next week. Should be a little more set up and good to go when we're not all bogged down, specifically me, with a whole bunch of stuff. Thank you once again to Mortsy and SplicedHelix for joining me on this journey. Shoutouts to Geki. We miss you. Give us a damn good overlay, please.
We miss you. We hate you. I mean, we miss you.
And we will see you guys. Don't forget, Street Fighter League Season 2 Game Day begins tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific, on Twitch and on YouTube. For the panel, I have been Togashiazrael. Thank you for watching. Good fight.